Well, I would just like to welcome all of you this morning to our Saturday Business Success Training. It is April 1st, April Fool's Day, and that's a day my family and I just have loved to enjoy having some delightful fun, and that's my intent for this particular training, is to have some fun with us. And so for those of you that are on the video, you can see my picture there. It's me and my wonderful mom, and we are upside down, and that's just part of our fun business April Fool's training for today. So before we get started with the actual success training, I just want to open it up to any of you that feel like you'd like to share something about what has gone on this week, something that has been wonderful and exciting for you, or things that maybe kind of went a little sideways on the April Fool's side, but we're all ready to kind of support each other through it and to be able to see the fun and beauty in whatever happens in our life and in our business. And so is there anyone that'd like to share? I am not sure if we have people muted or not, so let me see if I can unmute you in case anyone's trying to talk. Just a moment.
Oh, good. I tried to unmute, and it didn't work. I star sixed it.
Okay, well, I think I had a hard mute, unfortunately, and so now I've opened up the line. So welcome.
Oh, okay. So can you hear me?
I sure can.
Oh, good. This is Susan from Garden Grove, and I star sixed it, and it didn't work. I had the easiest snow this week ever, and it just goes to show that if you're just taking your shakes and, you know, you keep moving and keep going along, something's going to happen. I'm going to Israel, and my new roommate, since my husband dropped out, we met at a place, and I was just talking about what I did and how I sold vitamins, and then I mentioned it again at a church meeting, the final prep, and I was asking about, you know, taking bags of my vitamins. And somebody's buzzing in there. Anyway, she asked me later on, can you tell me about those vitamins?
Please enter your conference ID and press the pound key.
Okay.
Well, anyway. That's interesting.
Will now be placed into the conference. This call is being recorded.
Wow. I think I'm not supposed to share.
Oh my goodness. Let's see. For everyone except our current speaker, if you can mute yourself so we can make sure that we can get that sound off of, somehow we're getting some feedback. Okay, that's what, okay. I'm sorry, go ahead. So they were asking about the vitamins that you're taking?
Anyway, yeah, so I was worried about not being able to have my vitamins and having them confiscated at the airport because they're evidently really strict. So after the meeting, you know, she was asking me about these vitamins, and so she bought a can, and hopefully later on we'll get her interested in the business and more product. But it was
just kind of comes natural sometimes. It's a part of that conversation.
Yeah, just from me asking about vitamins going to Israel.
Well, that's awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing. Who else would like to share? I think the lines are not hard muted, so I think if you star 6, then you'll be able to unmute your line and be able to make a comment.
Lauren's here.
Hello, Lauren.
Hi. I had a pretty fun week. I mentioned on a couple Monday nights ago a friend that I I just wanted to invest in somebody that I just saw as potential, but I didn't really know her all that well. And so we met up for dinner, and, she got to hear a little bit about Haiti, and that was exciting for her. But I really wanted, she has her daughter, she and her ex, unfortunately, have to divide their time with their daughter. And so she gets the daughter 1 week and then off a week. So the week that she has her daughter is, completely devoted to her daughter, which I completely understand. So this next week, we're going to get her on a couple calls and get her connected, but she's really excited about that. Then I also shared with a friend, Ben, just kind of another person that I saw potential in, and just said, hey, this is what we do. Do you have any interest in learning about it? And he's really excited. I mean, got him on the call with, I don't know if Roger Broberg's on, but got him on a great three-way call with him, and it was just it's always so fun seeing their eyes open up to possibility and potential, and just what Relive can do for them. So a couple little fun things here and there. So
that's wonderful.
Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, it's always something that you can just kind of, bring up as a part of what's natural. And a lot of times it's helpful if you have a sense of trust already built up with a person. And when you speak with a sincerity of heart, they can tell you're concerned, and they may be interested, they may not, but it may plant a seed, which I'll talk about in just a minute. But let me just open it up if there's anyone else who would like to make a comment about anything about how this week has gone for them. While any of the rest of you are thinking, I just want to share something in regard to planting seeds and things growing upward, sideways, downward, or whatever. There are some people that I have reached out to over a period of time, some of them a few weeks, one of them a year, one of them a year and a half, 2 years, another person 4 years. And it's really interesting that sometimes it takes that time for that little seed to kind of sprout. You think, well, it should pop up out of the soil right away. I've nourished it, I've fed it, I've fertilized it. It should just pop up and grow. And then you find that for whatever reason, it's not sprouting. You think, oh, the seed is dead. It's not going to sprout. It's not going to come forward like the springtime seed that I was hoping to plant. But sometimes I remember when I was a child and I would plant seeds for our garden, and I would sit there and think, well, they're not growing, and I would kind of move around in the dirt and see that some of the seeds, instead of, for whatever reason, there was a rock in the way or something, and that little sprout would kind of go sideways first, and then it would go up. And that's what I found has happened with some of the contacts that I had, that things that people that I thought, well, they weren't sprouting, within this last week or two, the timing was right. That seed kind of sprouted up through the soil, and people were like, yeah, I do want to learn more about what this is, and let's see what this happens. Now, does that mean that everything is always going to go exactly the way that you had thought that it would? Not necessarily, because there was somebody that I was working with that she was quite interested in getting help for her young adult son who was struggling with some high blood pressure issues, and then it turns out her husband had just had some heart problems. And in the process of her getting ready to decide if she was going to jump in, she had a family crisis with her daughter and her daughter's pregnancy that was not going well. And she said, I'm just going to have to kind of put this on hold for now. And I'm like, that's okay, because people need to know we'll be there for them and we can work around their life circumstances, and that we can continue to show love and compassion to them. And when their life particular situation gets to the point where they're ready to jump in, we just stay in contact, and then at that point we can kind of take it up from where it goes. So you never know for those times that some people sprout quickly, some people it may be more in the long term, or some people they're starting to sprout and then they get kind of a bump in the road. But as we continue to move forward and have people fill our funnel, look for people to introduce to, then those that are slower sprouting will come around in their own good time, and those that are ready to jump in, they're like, oh my gosh, this is it. I love this. They're the ones that are going to sprout quickly, and we can do plenty to nourish them and help them to understand how this system works and the support that we can give them that can be really help their businesses to grow real fruitfully. So any other comments before we continue on with our other part of our training? Okay. All right. Pardon me. Okay, let's see. Okay, how do you succeed with Relive? Well, we have our circle of success. It's no trickery. It's no foolery. It's just a straight around 5-step process that we can do to fuel our business with new people. We're going to go through each of these steps in a few minutes here. And we work with the Relive system, the business cycle, the daily activity, and the corporate support. And these circle of success steps are identify, connect, share the story, ask for a decision, register, and go. And these are the 5 fundamentals that we can do every single day. And we'll have people in different stages of each of these steps. And as we move around, then it's just something we circle around and again and again. And the key is to take action now. First, identify. We'll make a list of the people that we think about that would be prospects for us. Maybe 10 people that are product prospects, 10 people that are business prospects. And on your paper, write why you thought of each. And this provides a purpose for the first contact and for the follow-up. And think about, well, who are the first 5 that I'm going to contact, and who am I going to contact today? The thing is, we always have new people to talk to. We're up with family, friends, work, church, school, social media. You can find ways to add people to your list every day. You know, there's people that you come in contact with at the store just when you're waiting in the grocery line. There's, friends of friends on social media that some people, might have an interest in. I see a lot of people doing a great job of posting things on Fit3, and some people have come out and said, hey, I'm starting this new system. It's great. Come join me. Other people, have said, my friend has just lost 13 pounds less, in the last 6 weeks. Let me know if you want to know how. And so some of them are direct, some are not direct. But as we show that enthusiasm, then it can draw people in, and then they can become part of the people that we can identify, that we can reach out to as they're interested in learning more. And that leads us to the next step, and that is connect. We review our 20 prospects with our upline, decide who's first, and decide what to say. You share your excitement, the why you thought of them, and using their why lets them know you care. I know sometimes I've been anxious in the past to think that I have identified what a particular why was for a person, and in my mind, I had an idea of what should be most important to them. But sometimes it's really, really important that we go through the process of listening very carefully. A case in point is I've been working with my neighbor off and on for the last couple of years. I've had her on a couple of 3-way calls, and she has very, very serious back issues. And, I know she needs this help that Relive can offer, and I keep thinking, oh, she just needs this help so bad. But the interesting thing, that's not what she finds most compelling. Maybe she doesn't have her wall of belief built up enough. Pardon me. Maybe it's, not as high on a priority because it's something that she's learned to live with. But it's come out a couple of times that what troubles her the most are some female issues that she has. And so what may be the why that we're thinking of may be entirely different than the why that they were thinking of. And so we need to make sure that as we connect with people, that if it's something that we have been able to build up rapport and talk to them, that we listen to what is their biggest concern and use that to be able to reach out to them so that we can make sure we're meeting a need. We can use our company tools to validate, and the goal at this point is to set an appointment. Here it has some sample sentences and such. I know your health is priority to you. I'm working with a company that can really help you. When can we get together? I'm so sorry. I have a tickle in my throat. And, another thing is, I've just started in something that made me think of you. You really need to check this out. It's a chance to earn some serious money. When can we get together? Or the best thing that so many people just love, how are you? Now, a lot of times they say, oh, how are you? It's kind of like, oh, hi. But if people can tell that you're really sincerely concerned, how are you? Then they can find a way to be able to, excuse me, just ask and listen and use the tools and stories to validate. I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to go get a cough drop or something here. I've got this funny tickle in my throat. Just a moment. Appreciate your guys' patience here. Sorry. Okay. So for our next slide, we share the Rita story. We share our why, our beliefs, our heart. We share the whole story, the products and the business. I know a lot of people are really great on this on three-way calls, where they weave in the business side of things along with their story that they're sharing, if they're sharing a concern for, a health condition or something, so that the people that you're sharing with, they may not be interested at that time in the business, but it puts it out there. And the same thing is, we need to make sure that people understand the business so that they know it's an option. It may be something that they're looking for right now, but it may not be. It may be something that they'll develop an interest in later, and at least it kind of plants that seed in the back of their mind. And as we do this process, we introduce them to our upline and other relive stories to help build their wall of belief. And we share the relive story with them. We help people to get engaged, and we ask them, who do they know? Because that will help us to know how we can reach out more to other people. And we engage them, with the different things that we have in our Relive system, with Relive meetings, home parties, webinars, conference calls, our upline. Other distributors, there's wonderful resources in the Lifestyle magazines, always put together well, the Relive blog. We have so many video tools now that are just, very, very easy to email to people or to share even in a text. And the thing is, you don't have to know it all. And it's actually, in some ways, kind of better if you let people know that. So they can feel like, okay, this is doable for me. If you come across as being, oh, I have every answer to everything, and I know all the research, and I know all this and that, then it seems overwhelming, like, oh, I could never, be as knowledgeable as you. You know so much. This is not something that I could do. This is not for me. I'm not like that. But just say, hey, if I don't have the answer, I'll help find it. That's what we're about. We network out among others in Relive to help us find the answers. And we let them know that that's a process, and that we can use Relive's built-in system to help educate and to validate what we're talking about. And then we ask for a decision. We need to come prepared to do business. That it's interesting, how many times we've heard, and I've done it, and I've known other people do it, you present information. I know the first in-home party I had, and we had a wonderful group of people, and I had actually Quila come in on a video conference, and she was on a laptop that we had. I introduced her over the video to different people, and we, my husband and I shared about how we'd been on all these other different supplements, and now we don't have to do that. We just take our shakes. And so we said, so glad you could come, and let us know if you're interested. It's kind of like, instead of saying, a specific decision, and so people kind of looked at each other and kind of looked around and like, okay, well, thank you, goodbye. And it's a learning process, because that kind of taught me I can't just kind of throw it out there. I felt like I was the one in the April Fool position. It's like, okay, guess what? You went to all this effort to put together these wonderful, event, and we had door prizes, and we have lovely, healthy snacks and such. But then I didn't put that capstone on it. And so you really need to put that capstone on it and be ready to ask for the decision. And it helps them to be ready to register. have forms available. You can register online, and also, of course, know the 800 number. There's been a couple different times when I was trying to sign up an applicant, and for whatever reason, the online process just kind of snagged up. I could not get the progress. It wouldn't be able to let me move forward. And so I said, you know what, no problem. Let's just call in. And so we called in, because if I'd have said, oh, I'm sorry, we'll have to take care of this tomorrow, then by then the people may say, I don't know if I really want to do this, and you're not trying to rush them into it or anything, but you do need to have options in case something, doesn't work. Another situation happened once. I was at a new wholesale customer distributor's home, and she wanted to sign up at that time. And she said, yeah, my computer system's down. I said, oh, no problem. I have it on my phone. And so here again, if we have options to help them register, then we won't get snagged up in the process. Also, when we're asking for a decision, we want to ask them, where do you want to get started? We can talk to them. Maybe they're interested in the products. Ask questions and listen. Be prepared to recommend something, kind of a super PAC or something that's personalized to their situation. But keep it simple. Don't overwhelm them. Say, oh, it's very complicated. I've got to figure this out. I've got to do this and that. We just focus on, let's look at ways that you can save on the product. There was, for instance, one friend of mine who was signing up to take the products. She had some health concerns and such. And as I was totaling up what her order was, I realized that she was, like less than $100 away from qualifying for the 30% level. She looked at all the different levels, had thought from one side, the lower side clear up to master filling, decided to settle on 25%. But then when she when she was so close, it was like $80 away from the 30% amount, I said, it's up to you. You can do whatever you want. But if I were you, I would get a little something more to bump it up, because you're going to lock yourself into that 30% level. And, everyone likes to save more money, right? And she's like, totally, yeah, let's do it. So, we need to help them look at ways that they can tell that we are not just trying to sell them products, but that we're trying to help them get the best savings. And, another thing is about, where would you like to get started? Maybe the person wants to get started with a business. That's what they find most compelling. Then here again, have the application ready. Let's review the profit options, revisit the comp plan. Ask questions and listen, and let them ask questions, and you can respond and help them see their potential and select the best option. But we don't want to guide them, because maybe they are thinking of one level or the other, but whatever level that they decide is right for them, we need to support them and say, that's a great place to get started. Want to get started at the level where you're starting at the $40 application fee and the 10% level, so you can work up to that next level? Great. That's a great place to get started. You want to start as a master affiliate? That's an awesome place to get started. You want to start as a customer? Great. If they just want to do retail, some people, that's where they're most comfortable. And if they're most comfortable, we need to make sure that we let them know that we support them in that. And I know there's somebody that I had just provided products to on Thursday, and interestingly enough, she was seriously looking at the products, and then another longtime friend who, I don't know, has some kind of advanced degree in nutrition or this and that, is affiliated with another company. And she said, April, I'm being honest, I'm looking at your company and also the other products that this other friend has. And I'm not sure exactly what tipped her toward our products, but she did express the fact that I have been with her, I've given her information, over a period of a year and a half, but I haven't been pushy, but she can tell I really, really care about her, and I'm there to help support her through her journey to get her results. And as a result of that, she says, I'm deciding to go, that's part of my decision process, to go with your products. She wanted to get them at retail, and I kept thinking, oh, but you could just do a little bit, you can even get a preferred customer, but that's where she felt most comfortable with. But I let her know I'm going to support her. I'm not here for her just to say, well, you lay down this amount of money and, oh, good, you bought products from me. I said, I am here to make sure that your concerns are addressed and that you get the help and support you need to make this successful. I don't want you just to plunk down your money. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in getting you results. And the interesting thing is she said several times, April, I go in and she's retired, but she's starting kind of back into some part-time work doing some substitute teaching. She said, I have seen so many teachers so run down, so tired, especially through the winter season where they've had colds and flus going around their classroom and then they're hacking away. She says, if this is something that works for me, I'm telling you, I will not keep my mouth closed. I can see this in, school faculty lounges and stuff. And so, but, I'm not going to say, oh, you've got to do this, you've got to do this. But I'm supporting her as she's starting to see the vision kind of, flow out in front of her, so that that's something that she discovers for herself, but she knows that I will be there to support her through the process. She just had, like I said, she got the products on Thursday, so I called her yesterday and said, so, how's it going? Have you taken your first shake? She goes, oh, I am so glad you called. And I kept thinking, I wonder if she's going to think I'm bugging her and stuff. But she says, actually, things got busy. I didn't take it, but I guess I could start taking it tonight. I was going to wait till Saturday, but I guess I could start taking it tonight. And I said, sure. And so she felt really touched that I would have enough concern to follow up with her. And so that's something that we, need to, make sure that we realize that we are offering a great service. When you buy something at a store, they're not going to have somebody calling the next day saying how things are going. You're not going to have somebody saying, hey, if you like their product, would you like to be our customer service representative going to stores selling this product? But we have a way for people to earn money doing this as a business. And we can ask them, who do you know who might want to start a Relive business? And then register and go. Here again, follow up the consumers just like I was talking about. Keep it simple. Did you have your shake today? Day 3. And this is not a hard and fast rule, but just kind of approximately, are you being consistent? What results are you seeing so far? A lot of times I've told people, you may not see results right away, but you may. So let's keep an eye on it and see how you're feeling. And, throughout the whole process, remind them, who do you know who could benefit from these products or this business opportunity? And help set up the distributors for success. Let them take immediate action. Identify, help them build a list. Don't say, now just go off and build a list and bring it back in a few days and we'll talk about it. I made the mistake of doing that early on in my business, and the person came back to me with a list, and I said, okay, who do you have on your list? And I was expecting a long list, and she goes, I've got these, 5 people or 10 people. That's all I know. I'm like, oh, please. This woman has lived internationally. She's lived all over from the East Coast to the West Coast and back again. And so she was kind of a little bit stymied in trying to think or prejudge, well, this person would probably be very interested or this person would not. So we have those great forums, and in the XR book there's some memory joggers as far as looking at different circles of people of who to help them call. Another thing that I've heard that is a great bit of advice is when we have all these different areas, people in our either sports teams that we're involved with or our kids sports teams, church groups, clubs that we're in, people at our employment if we're employed outside of Relive. These are the people that do service for us, landscapers and professionals that we work with, our doctor, our dentist, things like that. I've heard that it's good, if we're going through our list, to not go through one category and exhaust everyone that we know in that category and then move to the next. Pick a few from each category as you go around and circle back. Because there was one person that I was reaching out to who was very interested in the business, and however, it was someone I knew through church, and this person's wife was like, well, I don't know if it really makes sense to do the business. You probably talked to everybody in our church already anyways, right? And I said, well, actually, I haven't. I go through and I talk to people in a variety of different of my circles of influence, so to speak. And so there's a purpose for that. And part of it is if you're reaching out to someone in one of those circles, you want to make sure that you are, leaving some openings for somebody else. If you're trying to have a distributor customer that you haven't, contacted everyone to the extent that they feel like, well, they have no leverage to move forward. Of course, they know people in other areas of life, but this gave them a little bit of hope of, oh, well, there really is people that I can still contact that you don't know everyone. And of course, I don't even know everyone in our church circles. They know people that I don't, but still it gave them some encouragement that there would be people that they could contact, that they could have a hope of saying, well, might want to look at this business. We have so many tools. We have, here again, the Lifestyle Magazine I talked about. I love, love, love the brochure in the center about your health equals your genetics plus your lifestyle. What if you could influence both? Because so many people believe, and I continue seeing articles, lifestyle is super important. Of course, we can't do anything about our genetics, but you can affect your lifestyle options and stuff. But here we have a brochure that very clearly says, if there's a way that you could strengthen your genetics along with your lifestyle choices, would you do it? And that's something that would be really really great to be able to help them to learn about. And of course, we have the blog, we have the Blue Man, we have just so many different resources of all these different things. And it's no trickery that we have these. The company has very graciously provided these resources. Do all of us use them? Not necessarily. Do all of us want to use them? We might find that we're really drawn towards social media, but not so much toward using the magazine. Other people may be drawn more toward the brochures. But whatever your system is, use it. And maybe experiment into an element of some of the tools that Relive has that you haven't tried before. See how it goes for you. See about maybe texting out a video or something to say, hey, take a look at this. Tell me what you think. Just do something to try to reach out, to present things in a way that will mix things up in your business and kind of find that if maybe there's something that you're drawn to that you have never even really tried before. And that's, you may open a whole other avenue for you to reach out to do your business by doing that. Okay. All right, and here is the Relive system that I mentioned before that at the beginning of our call. First, the business cycle, and the international conference, which we're so excited about, this coming up, and this is the last one on an international level for a while. They're not saying never, never, but for the next while, they're going to go, it sounds like, more toward regional conferences. And so, this is just going to be a fantastic one. Between that and the fact that Fit 3 has launched and the emphasis they're going to have there on Fit 3, I am just so excited. So, and of course, we have some of the promotions, which I think we'll get to in the slide in the future, but you guys probably already know it. 3 new distributors between now and July, and you will earn yourself a free conference ticket. Now, many of us have already bought our conference ticket. They're not refunding those, but how awesome would it be for one of those distributors to say, you know what, I can tell you are so excited about the business. I have a ticket to offer you for free, $200 value, so that they can come to conference. I know my husband and I had just been into Relive just a few days when we went to our first conference. It was in Austin, Texas. And that just really opened our eyes. I don't even know if I would still be in Relive if it wasn't for going to that conference. I just was blown away by the goodness of the people, the stories that I heard there, just the whole sense of this stuff is for real, and it was just exciting. And we can give that kind of boost and enthusiasm to the people we work with as we invite them to conference. And of course, we have the MATs, which I know that needs to be updated now to the BLTs, which I love, the business leadership training. I know there's some great ones coming up. I've heard a lot about the one coming up in Pleasanton. I know a lot of you guys are more toward the West Coast and can take advantage of that. But there's BLTs that are all over the country that we can plug into and learn from and get that incredible training. We, of course, have the daily activity that each of us do with the presentations, the meetings, our 3-week calls, our trainings, webinars such as this one, and the corporate support that we get, our Monday story calls and the product calls, the webinars, the Relive Get Started. And throughout this whole people, we funnel around new people. We help them to participate in these things so that we can have them be well-grounded in how to use the Relive system. We own our own business, but the support we get is huge. We don't have to think of it all ourselves. We can get it from this whole system, and we can learn from each other. That's a key thing. I just love the camaraderie. There's not a sense of, oh, I can't tell you what I'm doing because then you might use my same technique and you might get success. I mean, no, that's the whole thing that's so beautiful about Relive is that your success, I celebrate. My success, you celebrate. We help and lift each other. It's not a competition. It's a lifting each other together, and that's just so, so encouraging. And, of course, I mentioned before, save the date, International Conference, Schaumburg, Illinois, July 27th through 29th. It's exciting. Every time I go to a conference, I always just go there for the conference, and then I will leave that next morning. And I've realized, you know what, I'm going to these different places around the country. I think I want to get a little peek of what's there. So this time, a friend of mine and I are going a day and a half early so we can actually check out some things around and about the Chicago area. And I'm thinking, that's kind of nice. And so if you have an opportunity to do that, great. If you don't and you just kind of want to buzz through there, get that networking. I really encourage you to come up with some questions of things that you're trying to find answers for, that you can pick brains of other distributors or other ambassadors so that you can really get some meaty information coming in with those questions and look for those answers throughout the process. It's a great opportunity, and of course the Saturday night party event that they have. I know in the past it's been a barbecue. I'm not sure what it's going to be this year, but it's going to be just a really, really great event. I urge all of you to be there. I do know the ticket prices, at least that I have been watching on the airlines, are starting to go up. So if you don't have your airline tickets there, if it's something you're going to fly to, which I think most of us live far enough away from it that we probably would, then I would really urge you to look into getting your tickets right away. And, of course, there's the Sedona, the 2017 Leadership Celebration. That's in mid-September. It's going to be at the beautiful Hilton Sedona Resort at Bell Rock. That's something you can set your sights on and be working toward qualifying to be able to go to that. So overall, engage your team. Build that really important library of stories. From your upline, from your downline, from sideline distributors. Use the Relive system. It's so wonderful to know that we can reach out to those that aren't connected at all to us. In fact, sometimes I think that validates it as much or more than when we have someone that's in our direct line, as I'm able to bring on friends from within my Relive family and say, this person is not financially connected to me at all. They have no financial interest, no benefit. They share because they are so grateful for the results that they've gotten with their business and finances, with their health, with the health of others around them, that they do it out of gratitude. And so I know that when I first heard that and my sponsor had me on some throughways, I'm like, really? People do that? They're not paid to do it. They don't have any financial connection. But it really makes an impact as we can network out to that. And to build ambassadors, we need to build relationships. This is a relationship business. And as we build those relationships, it helps us to lift each other. It helps us to celebrate each other's successes. It helps us that we can help each other when we're going through kind of a bumpy road, because, just as in any business, there's going to be times that will be bumps in the road. That's okay. As we have our relationships built and the support of our upline, our downline, our sidelines, we can lift each other through those times and inspire each other and help us to refocus and get that momentum moving forward. There is something so strong about momentum in your business. And as you get that momentum, it feels so empowering, and that's what we can help each other with. And make sure you stay engaged to what's going on in Relive. There's, the emails that comes out, the calls, the webinars, the social media, the text, it's all out there. And then, of course, there's the Fit 3 and the social media within Fit 3 and the support systems. It's so wonderful what is all provided for us. We can use that as a structure. And we need to set our goals. And we need to help our team set their goals, review the road to presidential director, help our team members stretch their thinking. If they're saying, well, I'd like to make at least, say $400 or $500 a month. Well, great. But help them look at what is the next level that you could attain and relive, and how can we help you get there? What will it take to make them a key director in whatever the number of months that they want to select for their goal? And then we can also look in our organization. Who will be the next key director in our organization, and how can we help them to get there? And then from there, we go on to duplicate, duplicate, duplicate. So we help our people bring in the 5 steps of success. It's no trick. It's nothing that is a fooling process to it. It's a very, very clearly laid out process that doesn't have to surprise us. It doesn't have to be anything that we're not expecting, like an April Fool's Day trick that would be coming out that would be an entirely unexpected thing. It's something that we know we can get comfortable with. We can know as we go through that process that we can end up having success, and that we look for who's next. And some of the people we're going to reach out to are going to be runners. They are going to be so excited at busting forward and working really hard. And other people are going to be more on the slower process. And that's okay. We take the people at the rate they're ready for, and we look for who is next. So that is the end of our training for today. Do you have any comments or thoughts or insights, suggestions you'd like to share?
Great job,
April.
April.
I think you did an amazing job. So last minute, great information.
Well, absolutely. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Like I said, I did find out about, 11:30 last night that I was going to be doing this. So I appreciate your working with me, and I apologize for my scratchy throat during the first part of it, but I'm glad to have been on the training with you, and hope that there is something that I have said that has kind of been, uplifting to you and kind of put things in perspective, and I hope that you have a very fun-filled April 1st and happy April Fool's Day, and we will see you on another call in the future. Thank you. Bye now.
Thank you, April.
Thanks, April.
Great job, April.
Thank you. Bye.